Witam moich miłych z tej strony Meti, oczywiście witam na moim streamie. Dzisiaj idziemy z dalszym odcinkiem tej Remastered. Będziemy lecieć dalej z historią. To bliżej jakiś komentarz. Dobra, i zobaczymy jeszcze tylko, czy wszystko działa. Zmienimy na kategorię, nie? Ty. Zmienimy na kategorię, nie? Dobra, zobaczymy, czy wszystko jest ok. Kontynuujemy. To mamy w ciągu, czy tam dalej chyba, nie? Jeszcze to zespół. Tak, to było tutaj. Potem wybuchła bomba. Jeszcze trzeba tutaj podejść. Wyjść przez okno.
My God, what a fire. I hope Constable Oliver can at least reach the engine.
Musimy i zobaczyć rum, nie? Tutaj.
Carling Black Label, a British beer. No good. Insufficient alcohol content. For practical purposes, I mean, not for drinking. Champagne, the finest. Maybe we'll open a bottle if we get out of the tunnel alive. Until then, though, it's no use to me. Whiskey, scotch, rum, liqueurs, enough to entertain everyone on the train all the way from Paris to Istanbul. High-proof rum. Could be useful.
A tutaj to mi skojarzy.
Rum from Austria. Believe it or not, it's 80% alcohol by volume. There's no way anyone would drink it straight.
Oh, pardon me. I did not mean to scare you.
Czego on tu szuka?
What are you doing here, Doctor?
Legrand asked me to check whether there are any passengers left on the train.
Really? No one is here, except for me and you.
Excellent. Then I will continue searching at the front.
Did anyone act suspiciously before the explosion? Did anyone leave their seat, for example?
I was the only one on the train who wasn't seated when the freight car exploded. Thank God. Otherwise, I would have been caught by the blast as well.
You certainly were lucky.
Perhaps I was. What happened over there? The inspector said something about gas canisters that exploded.
Bomba.
He didn't want to scare you. The truth is, it was a bomb meant to kill him and the Bobby.
My God. An attack? But who would...
The investigations are ongoing, but first we have to get the burning train out of the tunnel.
Oh, of course.
How are the passengers?
They are in a state of shock, of course. The blackout and the sudden stop were frightening enough, but then the explosion, the dust, everyone rushed for the exits. I was helping the American woman bring Lady Westmacott to safety. They are waiting outside in the tunnel. One entrance is blocked by a fire, and the other one seems to have collapsed.
Continue to search the train. I'll decouple the buried freight car.
All right.
Doctor? Can you give me a few matches?
Oh, certainly.
Thanks. I'll meet you outside.
Do hurry.
I should concentrate on uncoupling the freight car. I'm positive that Legrand has everything else under control.
Zapalmy sobie zapałkę, bo żebym widział. Idźmy tutaj. Powinno być tam nisko.
A lot was damaged by the sudden stop, but the bowl was thick enough to survive the fall.
To jest ta miska.
The last of the candy has vanished. Measured against the exploding freight car, I think the railway will overlook the loss. The last of the candy has vanished. Measured against the exploding freight car, I think the railway will overlook the loss.
Mam tam wleć rum do tego naczynia? Chyba tak. I teraz zobaczmy. Dobra. Zasłony są tam. Weź podnieść zasłonę. Zasłona jest chyba tutaj. I podnieść gaśnicę tutaj. Weźmiemy do okna.
I bought it last week, second-hand. I liked it because it seems to tell a story. It was set aside for a newer model, even though it's still quite okay. I don't see Legrand or the constable, but I can make out the silhouettes of some of the passengers. They seem to be unscathed. All the same, the fire is getting bigger, and I don't have much time.
Podnieść gaśnicę.
I noticed the extinguisher earlier. Doesn't match the decor. I suppose that the railway company had to comply with safety regulations at the cost of aesthetics. It'd be useless against the fire out there, and it's too cumbersome to carry around. At best, I can use it here. All right, let's go.
Mhm. jeszcze ten.
The other passengers escaped from the train. I can see their silhouettes in the light of the fire. If I don't hurry up and uncouple the freight car, they'll suffocate.
Ja nie chcę do okna podchodzić. Idź mi tutaj podejść. Tu podejść.
Rum from Austria. Believe it or not, it's 80% alcohol by volume. There's no way anyone would drink it straight. The fire is sucking the oxygen out of the tunnel and filling it with poisonous carbon monoxide. Here in the Alps there have been dozens of catastrophes in tunnels that ended with death by asphyxiation. But not on my watch.
Mamy tu nogę?
I should concentrate on uncoupling the freight car. I'm positive that Legrand has everything else under control.
Użyj nogi krzesła, tu jest. Mamy, dobra. I teraz powinniśmy ominąć tą nogę krzesła z tym chyba. Powinniśmy owinąć. Owinąłeś to? I teraz powinniśmy to chyba podpalić.
I filled the bowl about a third of the way with rum. Strong stuff.
Powinniśmy, ale teraz powinniśmy tylko to podpalić. Teraz powinniśmy to jakoś zapalić. Powinniśmy to jakoś podpalić. Wracała podpal.
The curtain is wrapped around the wood and doused in alcohol. I should be able to light the torch whenever I want.
No to będzie pochodnia. Zapal...
I expect the rum will burn like ethanol, but I better not test that theory in the bottle.
To podpalić
Rum from Austria. Believe it or not, it's 80% alcohol by volume. There's no way anyone would drink it straight.
A czemu nie mogę podpalić? Powinienem podpalić jakoś. O, jest, dobra, mam. Odpaliłem.
The alcohol burns with a dim blue flame. It doesn't shed enough light and will probably burn out in a few seconds.
Jak to alkohol wysokoprocentowy, co się
Won't
tak
solve
pali.
my lack of light. I'll have to try something else.
Będziemy znaleźć trochę większy ogień. Czyli musimy użyć bardziej wysokoprocentowego alkoholu. No, wyjdźmy na zewnątrz.
I'm sure I could uncouple the car if I only had enough light to see what I'm doing.
Zobaczymy.
Okay, I'll smear some grease on the curtain.
Użyć zasłony. Nie wytrzeć smar. Oczep wagon towarowy.
I can feel cold metal and a screw thread, and a lot of grease, but I can't do more without light.
Nie da rady teraz
I'm
odczepić.
sure I could uncouple the car if I only had enough light to see what I'm doing.
Teraz nie da rady go odczepić. Musimy wrócić się. Zobaczę. A teraz musimy wrócić z powrotem do baru. Teraz wrócimy z powrotem do baru i z powrotem musimy zaraz zapalić. Zobaczymy. Aha, dobra.
The grease from the coupling is all over the curtain. It'll never be clean again.
Jest natłuszczona. Nie lepiej chyba. Zobaczymy. Czy to co działa to? Olej będzie się bardziej pali chyba. I teraz powinien to zapalić.
Some matches, and half of the book to get the flame going.
Ponownie trzeba zapalić. Pochodnie.
The greasy cloth is wrapped tightly around the chair leg. That looks promising.
Podpal.
I expect the rum will burn like ethanol, but I better not test that theory in the bottle. Rum from Austria. Believe it or not, it's 80% alcohol by volume. There's no way anyone would drink it straight.
Cofnij się. Musimy to podpalić chyba, nie? Dobra, jest.
Just as I expected, the alcohol burns with an almost invisible flame.
Czyli trzeba to zrobić jeszcze raz.
The flame is hot, but it's no use as a light source. The flame is hot, but it's no use as a light source.
Zobaczymy co dalej. O, nie daje dużego płomienia.
The flame is hot, but it's no use as a light source.
Zobaczymy. To się niby pali.
The flame is hot, but it's no use as a light source.
Za mało światła. Musimy wtedy użyć jeszcze chyba Tutaj się cofnij. Wytęciałem ten alkohol. Ten rum.
Rum from Austria. Believe it or not, it's 80% alcohol by volume. There's no way anyone would drink it straight. The material won't be able to soak up any more alcohol.
No zapałka trochę coś tam nadaje.
The material won't be able to soak up any more alcohol.
Zobaczymy. Idźmy na stronę zewnątrz. I spróbujemy odczepić wagony. Coś nam się pali, ale co to tak mało daje?
There's a pretty intense draft here. The fire is sucking up the oxygen. I can feel cold metal and a screw thread, and a lot of grease, but I can't do more without light.
Nie możemy jeszcze tego odczepić. Musimy jeszcze wrócić. Jeszcze nie można odczepić. Czyli jeszcze musimy tutaj coś zrobić.
I bought it last week, second hand. I liked it because it seems to tell a story. It was set up.
Nie chcę tego zapałki. Chcę tam biedolić mi tu.
The flame is hot, but it's no use as a light source. Rum from Austria. Believe it or not, it's 80% alcohol by volume. There's no way anyone would drink it straight. I expect the rum will burn like ethanol, but I better not test that theory in the bottle. A burning... A burning match. I expect the rum will burn like ethanol, but I better not test that theory in the bottle.
Nic z tego. Musimy to jakoś zrobić.
The flame is hot, but it's no use as a light source. The flame is hot, but it's no use as a light source. I expect the rum will burn like ethanol, but I better not test that theory in the bottle. A burning match.
To nie wiem, to mamy jeszcze oświetlić, ale jak? Zaraz się dowiemy może. Mamy to jakoś oświetlić, żeby światło dodało, ale większe światło. To daje
The
mniej...
material won't be able to soak up any more alcohol.
Chłodnie olejem. Masz właśnie może jakieś odpowiedzi? Muszę odczepić wagon, zanim oddychniemy się dymem. Tunel, nie mogę po ciemku rozpocząć mechanizmu łączącego wagonu, potrzebuję światła. pochodnia nie pali się zbyt jasno. Właśnie przy najmniejszym ruchu potrzebuje mocniejszego płomienia. Może jest tu gdzieś wosk lub olej.
The flame is hot, but it's...
Nic nie działa.
The material won't be able to soak up any more alcohol. A burning match.
Ja tu patrzę i nie chodzę, ale kurde nic nie wiem.
I shouldn't be wasteful. One burning match should be enough. A burning match. The material won't be able to soak up any more alcohol. The greasy cloth is wrapped tightly around the chair leg. That looks promising.
No to podnieś to.
The flame is hot, but it's...
No
the
już
flame is...
No napierdolę się, to słyszałem.
Rum from Austria. Believe it or not, it's 80%...
Ja to słyszałem już.
A burning match.
Dobra, pierdolisz się. To jest... O jest, o tym mamy. Teraz mnie to zapalić.
Rum from Austria. Believe it or not, it's 80%...
Pierdolić już do alkoholu już, bo... To jest głupie.
The flame is hot, but it's no use as a...
Kurwa, no nie wiem. Robię co mogę, nie działa nic.
A burning match.
Ja sobie pierdolę się, bo już nie mogę tego słuchać. Chwilę to samo
Nie
pierdol... Pierdolisz! Dawno powinien to kurwa zrobić. Ale nie idzie. Czy kurwa będę to pierdolił, no.
Rum from Austria.
Ej, pierdolisz już. Sprawdźmy.
A burning match. Rum from Austria. Believe it or not, it... A burning match.
Śmierdolić już tu z zapałkami już. Zobaczę tam.
there's a pretty intense draft here. The fire is sucking up the oxygen.
Nie będziemy jeszcze odłączać.
The wheels came off the track during the explosion. Even if it were possible to pull the car out of the rubble, you wouldn't get far with it. I'm sure I can uncouple the car if I only had enough light to see what I'm doing.
Musimy mieć oświetlenie, zaczepimy tego na razie. Trzeba mieć światło.
I bought it last week, second hand. It was... pills for my heart. I'm supposed... The flame is hot. The flame is hot. The flame is hot, but it's no use as a light source. The flame is hot. The flame is hot, but it's no use as a light source. The flame is hot, but it's no use as a light source. Rum from Austria. Believe it or not, it's... The material won't be able to soak up any more alcohol. The material won't be able to... The greasy cloth is wrapped tightly around the chair leg. That looks promising.
To podnieś.
The greasy cloth is wrapped tightly around the chair leg. That looks promising. The greasy cloth is wrapped tightly around the chair leg. That looks promising. The greasy cloth is wrapped tightly around the chair leg. That looks promising. The material won't be able to soak up any more alcohol. The greasy cloth is wrapped tightly around the chair leg. That looks promising. The greasy cloth is wrapped tightly around the chair leg. That looks promising. Rum from Austria. Believe it or not, it's 80% alcohol by volume. There's no way anyone would drink it straight. Rum from Austria. The material won't be able to soak up any more alcohol. The greasy cloth is wrapped tightly around the chair leg. That looks promising. The material won't be able to soak up any more alcohol. The greasy rum from Austria. Believe it or not, it's... The material won't be able to soak up... The greasy cloth is wrapped... The flame is hot, but it's no use as a light source. The material won't...
Tutaj nic
Rum
nie ma.
from Austria. The material won't be able to soak up any more alcohol.
Nic z tego nie rozumiem. Przecież... Może to są...
A burning match. Pochodnia odżyws. Zapal pochodnie. Było zapal pochodnie. A więc to tak, kurwa. I'm the god of fire.
A ja nie wiedziałem, a już wiem, o co chodziło, wiecie. Trzeba wybrać, a ja tu chodzę, pierdolę się i pierdolę. Masakra, no. Co trzeba było wybrać? Zapal pochodnie, bo tu było wszystko naraz położone i kurde, wiedział, to od razu mi to zrobił. Teraz możemy chyba czepić pociąg. Czyli wagon. Jak można tak robić? Wszystko na jedne położone, kurwa, nie?
That's better now. Incredibly basic mechanism. The kind that lasts forever.
Tak nie wiem, o co chodzi, kurwa.
Won't budge. Too much tension on the coupling.
Odłącz wagon towarowy, co to jest? Sprawdź, dźwignię.
A lever on a pressure sleeve running along a thread.
Czyli nie odczepimy nadal jeszcze, chyba.
Incredibly basic mechanism. The kind that lasts forever. I don't think it'll work. As long as there's so much tension, the coupling won't budge.
Aha. Przekręć dźwignię.
Aha! I can uncouple it with this lever. Okay.
Sprawdź dźwignię, teraz zobaczymy. Teraz się uda teraz.
There we go. Time to get out of here.
Listen, everybody! Listen! Robert, what's the situation?
Yeah, I couldn't find the engineer, so I got in the driver's cab myself and released the brake.
All right. Good job. You two. Listen, please.
Matty! Where's Matt? Where's my son?
Relax, madame. I'm sure.
Help! Matty! No!
No, jak tak mówiłem, że ja tutaj bym od razu...
Where are you? Oh.
Od razu bym to zrobił. Ale to było na jedno położone. Oni odłączyli ten wagon. I teraz nie mógł ruszyć, bo jak ten wagon połączony ze sobą, to pociąg nie mógł ruszyć, a gdy odłączyli ten wagon, to teraz pociąg mógł ruszyć. Postrąchkowy wydaje się szczerym facetem, ale niezbyt bystrym. Trzeci legenda to widać. Od razu jest dumny, że może z nim pracować. Szczerze mówiąc, na jego miejscu czułbym to samo. Odłączony lokomotywowy silnik sam się nie zatrzyma, a ja mogę dostać się do szaflarni ze względu na ogień. Wszystko to samo, dobra. Dobra.
Matt, are you there? Nothing. Damn, that makes things extremely complicated. The emergency brake either was damaged in the explosion or was sabotaged. But whatever, it's not working. I think I should try to uncouple the locomotive. I mean, how else can I stop the train? Matt? What on earth are you doing there? What were you thinking? Ah, come out of there.
Is he gone?
Is who gone?
The man!
What are you doing on the train anyway? Why didn't you wait in the tunnel with the other passengers?
I wanted to get my pistol.
Your pistol?
If there's so many cops and thieves and explosions and everything, then I need a pistol too.
Makes sense. What about this man?
There was a man. He was coughing.
One of the passengers?
I think he came down from the roof.
All right. First, I'll stop the train, and then we'll have a chat, okay? You want to come out? Good idea. You stay put.
Aha. No to było wszystko, nie ma na to podpowiedzi.
Matt saw something. It could prove to be very useful, but if I don't stop the train soon, I won't be able to use that information in this lifetime. I suppose this handbag belongs to Miss Miller, Matt's mother. Lady Westmacott's bag is probably smaller and more expensive.
Czy ktoś tam jest?
Professor Lucien's suitcase. Unlike the leather bag, he left it behind when he fled the train with the other passengers. I don't think there's anything interesting in it. Whatever the professor is hiding from me, it's in his leather bag. A large, soft towel, very comfortable. I'll wrap it around my neck to keep my hands free. My situation isn't that desperate. What have you got yourself into? Couldn't you have just let it be? But no, of course not. And now you're here, on an out-of-control train in the Alps, responsible for the life of a child who'll be doomed without you. What are you waiting for, eh? Time to save the day. The tanks don't seem to be damaged. The water is still running. When the high and mighty travel, they travel in style. When the high and mighty travel, they travel in style. When the high and mighty travel, they travel in style. When the high and mighty travel, they travel in style.
Odciąć kran, tak? Ciekawe, łączona jest to już chyba. Chyba tak.
Hardly see out of the window because of the smoke. I don't know how much coal is burning on the tender out there, but it must be tons. I can't do anything about the fire. If the emergency brake doesn't work, I'll have to try something else. Here goes. Ouch! Hot! This door leads to the tender. It will be uncomfortable, no doubt, but I don't think that the flames are directly behind the door. I suppose there's a relatively safe space in the lee of the tender where one could stay a little while. An axe is for emergencies. If this isn't an emergency, I don't know what is. I can't get in. I presume the Baroness's luggage toppled over and is blocking the door.
Zobaczymy.
Matt hasn't grasped the gravity of the situation yet, which is good, as I can't take care of him and the train. The engine and the coal tender are burning stronger and hotter. The airflow is feeding the flames. I have to decouple the wagons immediately. Sooner or later, the engine will be blown apart. The boiler is under extreme pressure and there's nobody to control it. It's all up to me.
Zobaczymy co dalej. Zobaczymy teraz.
Jumping off is not an option. We're going much too fast. Not very handy. Matt saw something, but if I don't...
Myślę, że tam może powinniśmy użyć tej ścierki, bo to jest gorący chyba, myślę, i tam powinniśmy użyć tej ścierki. Zobaczymy teraz.
Locked.
Zamknięte.
This door leads to the tender. It will be uncomfortable, no doubt, but I don't think that the flames are directly behind the door. I suppose there's a relatively safe space in the lee of the tender where one could stay a little while.
Zobaczymy. Nie słyszę.
The handle is already too hot to touch. Locked. The handle is already too hot to touch.
Muszę podejrzeć to kilka razy.
Locked.
siekierę?
The handle is already...
Siekierę miałeś wziąć.
This door, I suppose...
Podnieś tę siekierę. Człowieku.
The handle is already too hot to...
Podnieś tę siekierę. Trzeba najpierw ułożyć chyba siekiery.
Okay. We'll do it the hard way.
A po szczerki.
The handle is already too hot to touch.
Zobaczymy.
If I go outside with it, I don't want to...
No co dalej?
If I go outside, I
No,
don't
dalej, no rób. No,
If I go outside with a towel around my head, it'll catch fire due to all the sparks flying around. I don't want to risk what little hair I have left. If I go outside, I don't want... The handle is already too... If I go outside with a towel around, I don't want to risk... A large, soft towel, very comfortable. The handle is already too hot to touch. A steam locomotive is controlled. A runner...
użyj tego ręcznika.
The handle is already too hot to touch. If I go outside with a towel around my head, it'll catch fire due to all the sparks flying around. I don't want to risk what little hair I have left.
A bo trzeba je znowu namoczyć.
It's soaking up the cold water.
Aha. Teraz są ten... Namoczona ścierka. Teraz zobaczymy. To nie da rady, przecież to jest niemożliwe.
That should do the trick. The coupling won't release because it's under too much tension. That's not just smoke. I can actually taste lumps of ash. It's time for my deputy sheriff's story. I uncoupled the locomotive at full speed. Not bad, eh?
Do you think we'll get in trouble?
Because of the locomotive? I don't think so. It was pretty old already. Come out so we can have a chat. I checked the entire train. There's no one on it except for us. What an adventure.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me, what did you see on the train?
Well, it was like this. I wanted to get my pistol,
Ciemno. Nie wiem, czy jest to kwestia tego kruka. To nim jest, bo tam jeszcze nie wiadomo, bo tam przy oknie wtedy jeszcze nie mamy pojęcia, kto wszedł do tego okna. Kto się włamał. Czy jeszcze mamy szansę rozwiązać zagadkę? Kto tam się włamał? To interesuje to zrobić. No to te odciski palców, ale nie mamy czegoś tam, nam coś tam potrzebne, żeby te odciski zetrzeć.
When the guy was gone, I got up and banged on the window. I wanted to get out of there, but then I thought, what if the guy can hear me from the next car? So I got scared and I hid again.
You did well. Are you sure it was a man?
Yeah, very sure. What else could he be?
A woman?
No. Girls can't be thieves. Girls are always honest.
If only you knew. Did you recognize the man? Have you met him before?
I don't think so.
Would you recognize him if you saw him again?
No. It was very dark and I was hiding.
Was he a tall man or a short man?
Just a man. I think he was a bad man.
Why do you think that?
He was sneaking around, even though everybody else was outside in the tunnel.
Maybe he just wanted to get his wooden pistol.
Oh, man.
The envelope that the man lost, where is it?
I thought it might be important.
I think we should have a look. Some cash, an Italian passport, blank. Very interesting. And here, a ticket for
the cruise!
What?
The tickets we have for the big ship from Venice to Cairo look exactly the same.
Interesting. May I keep it?
What do you want to do with it?
Take a vacation.
Dobra.
It's evidence.
And my chance to go with you.
The ticket and everything else in the envelope are part of my investigation. And you have no part to play in Cairo.
If I hadn't given you the envelope, you'd have no proof that the Raven's heir would be on the ship.
Ugh. The ship is his next chance to steal the eye. And he won't give up until he has it.
And that's precisely why you should let me come along.
No.
Zasługuję na to, by popłynąć.
I deserve to come along.
What you did was extraordinary. Far more than anyone could have a right to expect from you.
And you still want to leave me behind.
You met our foe and barely escaped with your life. You may not be that lucky next time.
It wasn't luck.
You can return to Switzerland with your head held high. Enjoy your triumph.
I have not achieved anything yet. The Fiend tried to kill us, and he's still at large.
Wydarzenia w tunelu.
What else did you find out in the tunnel?
Not much. After we came out of the tunnel, Robert and I questioned the passengers.
Which didn't turn up anything new.
No, the engineer and the fireman were missing. They were found a few kilometers back on the track. Both claimed to have been overwhelmed by a shadow and thrown off the train.
But you don't believe that.
I'm checking their stories. One of them may have been paid to eliminate the other one.
How could the Raven's heir have found out about the trap? How was he able to put the dynamite in the box and place the letter?
The dynamite was probably already in the box when I put it in the safe. I didn't check it.
You had no reason to do so.
It wasn't my only mistake. I knew someone was on the roof of the freight car, but I let myself be distracted by that damned letter.
How did you know?
Too late. I should have reacted instantly.
I'm coming with you. Full stop.
The thief was able to place 10 sticks of dynamite in a cash box right under my nose. For all we know, you could already be sitting on the next bomb. You cannot come.
But, Inspector...
We're here.
Inspector Legrand, an urgent telegram from Paris.
Bad news?
It's about the unfortunate events on the train. I'm to return to Paris and explain myself.
But sir, what about the eye?
They want to inform the Egyptian authorities that there might be a burglary attempt.
Might?
Egyptian authorities? What if the jewel is stolen at sea?
I know. I never received it. Keep a close watch on the loading of the eye, Robert.
Aye, sir. It was a pleasure meeting you, Constable Zellner.
Stosunkowy.
What is the constable's problem with me?
I think he's jealous. Scotland Yard assigned him to assist me, just as you were sent by the Swiss authorities.
With the distinction that he may go to Egypt.
Robert is to accompany me at all times. Your mission was restricted to Switzerland.
At this moment, I want to be sent back to Switzerland just as much as you want to be sent back to Paris.
I know, but I'm walking on thin ice, and I can't carry you too.
And the second eye is in that safe?
Yes, an emerald. It's been kept in a bank in Zurich since the start of the war. I personally took it out of the bank vault, and Professor Lucien certified that it was the real thing.
And while a fake jewel was sent by train...
The real one was brought here in an armored car.
How is it protected?
You can only open the safe if you have 3 special keys. Professor Lucien has one, and Baroness von Trebitz, who's paying for all this, has the second. The third was sent by air courier to Dr. Abbas Mokhtar, the director of the Egyptian Museum in Cairo.
So, not even you could possibly open the safe before it arrives in Egypt.
That's correct. We don't want to make it too easy for potential thieves.
Commendable. I hope you're aware of the fact that you're risking your career.
Indeed I am.
Why do you care so much about this case? Someone pretends to be the Raven, and you promptly risk your career?
What if he's not just pretending?
What do you mean by that?
It's his handwriting. And there's only one person who ever called me Nico. Have you ever considered the possibility that I shot the wrong man?
But what do you mean by that?
Let us assume just for a moment that the person I shot and who fell from the roof was not the Raven. Who would have cared enough to uncover the truth? The chief of police, the politicians? No. They wanted to revel in a successful manhunt, and it was the best thing that could have happened to the Raven. The search for him was over. He had no reason to fear me anymore. I had so many medals afterwards that he could hear them jingling kilometers away.
And now he's back? And you're the only one who can stop him? Does that sound probable to you?
The feathers, the letters, Nico. No one outside the police force knew that the Raven used to call me that in his letters.
Policemen gossip, and there are plenty of forgers. You can't seriously intend to stake your reputation on such weak evidence.
My reputation rests on something that I probably did not do. I have to find out who's behind all this.
Let's review. One of the 2 most valuable jewels in the world was stolen. Obviously, the second one will be next. And you suspect a legendary burglar who's been dead for 5 years.
Go on.
The second jewel is about to be put on board over there, in a safe that requires 3 keys. Our thief may already have the first key, the archaeologist's key, from the train. We don't know anything about the status of the second key, which was meant to be air freighted to Cairo.
We have to assume that he already has it.
Therefore, there's just one key left. The Baroness's.
Correct.
So, you'll need my eyes on board.
Look, you can keep your eyes open for me here on the wharf. I'd be most grateful. But when this ship sets sail, you will not, I repeat, not be on board.
But, Inspector,
We're dealing with a dangerous man, and I will pursue him regardless of the consequences. I won't let you get mixed up in this affair.
it's still my decision.
No, it's not. It's mine, and I've already made it. Good day, Constable Zellner.
Więc to na tyle w tym streamie. Ja tu zapiszę. Tutaj zapisz. Jeszcze coś sprawdzę. Pociąg w Alpach. Tu sobie zapiszemy. I... No i myślę, że sobie będziemy chyba robić na statku. To co zapisane oddzielnie, dobrze, że bo tam może być jeszcze do rozwiązania zagadka z tym z krukiem, ale... To tutaj mam zapisane. Dobra, więc ja sobie z wami żegnam na dzisiaj. No i następny stream pewnie na statku będziemy robić, zobaczymy co tam będzie. Więc ja się z wami żegnam i na razie do zobaczenia. No, cześć.